You spend hours scrolling through other people's highlights, perfect bodies, polished successes, curated smiles, believing their journey somehow diminishes your own. But each comparison you make steals a fragment of your potential, shredding joy and stalling your unique path. Tonight, we'll see how comparison isn't just a distraction, it's the pickpocket of purpose, and learn to reclaim the gifts it stole. Imagine you're a violinist in a silent auditorium. You hear echoes of concert masters warming up on distant stages, and suddenly your own practice seems inadequate. You put down the bow, convinced you'll never match that flawless tone. In truth, the other violinist's excellence doesn't subtract from yours. It sits on a different shelf of achievement. Yet every time you measure yourself against someone else's measurement, you hand over the ruler and lose your own standard. Notice the moment your gaze drifts, on social feeds, at networking events, even in quiet reflection. A pang of envy, a slug of self-doubt, a whisper that their path is better. That whisper lodges in your mind and grows louder until your own accomplishments feel like echoes of emptiness. Comparison draws your attention outward and empties the well of self-trust you need to draw from. Here's how to stop the thief and protect your joy. 1. Name your mirror. When you catch yourself comparing, they've done more, they're further along, they're happier, pause and speak it aloud. I see myself in their mirror and it distorts my view. Naming the act of comparison separates you from it. You recognize the mirror for what it is, a borrowed frame, not the gallery of your life. 2. Reclaim your story. Immediately after naming, turn inward. Recall one moment you felt truly alive, when your heart raced not from what others achieved, but from your own bold action. Envision that scene in vivid detail. The sights, the sounds, the swell of pride. Hold on to that memory. It is the keystone of your narrative, the testament that your story matters on its own terms. 3. Set your internal metrics. Comparison thrives when you lack your own indicators of progress. Define 3 personal metrics that reflect your values, not someone else's milestones. It could be hours devoted to craft, number of genuine connections made, or moments of courage taken. Track these metrics privately, on paper, in voice memos, or in your mind. When you measure by your own scale, the external charts lose their thief-like power. 4. Celebrate micro-victories. At the end of each day, list 3 small wins, no matter how tiny, that align with your values and metrics. Maybe you wrote a sentence that felt true, responded kindly instead of retreating, or followed through on a promise to yourself. Celebrate those wins as if they were global feats. Each recognition recharges your reservoir of joy and diminishes the space left for comparison. 5. Practice generous gaze. When you next notice someone else's success, offer a genuine "well done." Let generosity be your response. Then remind yourself, their victory expands what's possible. It doesn't shrink my domain. Practice this generous gaze in conversation, in comments, or in private thought. Generosity rewires your brain to see others' gains as shared progress, not personal loss. 6. Anchor in purposeful presence. Whenever social media, news feeds, or idle chatter pull you toward external mirrors, pause and ask, what is my purpose right now? Bring your attention back to the present moment, your breath, your body, your task. Ground yourself in what you're doing, not what someone else is displaying. Presence is the strongest lock on comparison's pick. Over the coming week, integrate these steps into your routine. Notice how your sense of self-worth stabilizes when you name the mirror, reclaim your story, measure your own metrics, celebrate micro-victories, practice generosity, and anchor in presence. The thief of joy retreats when your focus shifts from borrowed reflections to your living reality. Tomorrow, the next time envy stirs, greet it as a signpost pointing back to your own path. Name it, pivot inward, and step forward in gratitude for your journey. Let comparison fall silent as you walk in the quiet dignity of your own becoming.